A lot of distress. When you ask what happened to the owner of the property, they will say the person is looking to relocate to Japa. Most of the distress sale in Nigeria right now are people who are looking to leave Nigeria. Hi Japadians, welcome back to Akomolafe family channel. So today I don't even know what to title this video. You can call it a rant, you can call it me just venting out, whatever you want to call it, but after having my very deep conversation with my friend and my colleague earlier today, I decided to bring that anxiety, this stress, whatever I want to call it, to come and share this experience with you guys. The first thing is, it's almost like this jackpot at this stage, the feeling is almost mixed. What do I mean mixed? There are some times when I will think about jackpot and I will have this anxiety, and I just calm myself, just know that the Lord is giving me the strength to go on with this journey. At other times, I will see jackpot as comforting in some situations, and I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. The nurse was telling me today our experiences on the ward where she's working, and very similar to my sister's experience as well. You would expect that their pay should be increasing. For example, pay is decreasing. So the one that is now becoming really popular is the fact that, when they train, when you as a professional, maybe you're a band 6 nurse, they've brought somebody for you to train the person. The person actually, you mentor that person. When they came into the workplace, you were their go-to person. You are more experienced than them. You were the one that trained them in the workplace. And before you could say Jack Robinson, they've made them your boss. Now you have to report to them. So that is becoming common in the workplace now. And there's this particular nurse who's been working for a number of years, more than 10 years. She was mentoring this particular girl. Now they've made her the lady's boss. So now she has to report. And it's not that she's even become the boss of this lady alone. The lady also goes to report every little thing that this African lady does is being reported, to the point that it's frustrating that lady so much. The frustrating thing about this experience is when they make somebody who is your subordinate, when they make them your boss. It happens a lot in this country. But I feel sorry for the lady that happened to. And I can imagine how frustrating it is, to the point that lady now is thinking of demoting herself back to a support worker. So a nurse who has had more than 12 years experience is now thinking of going to become a support worker because she can't deal with that pressure anymore. And they will say, oh, the wards are more stressful than the community. This person has actually worked in the wards and is now working in community. Even in the community is the same. One that is annoying me right now, I brought it to the screen a few weeks back, and somebody in the comment section was saying, do you realize that they've reduced the threshold? What do I mean by the threshold? There's a particular threshold where you will pay, if you earn a certain amount of money, you pay a certain amount of tax. So I was saying in that video that I did the last time, that they took my money without notice. So I thought maybe they've just overtaxed me for something. I did not actually realize they have reduced the threshold. Oh my goodness. And I mean, people might look at it and say, okay, it's just a little difference, but it's not. So how does that affect me as a person? When I saw my pay slip that day and I said they took £200 from my pay, I was like, okay, why did they tax me extra? I didn't do anything differently to what I've been doing before. So I was surprised to see that they've taxed me extra. Then when I saw that information that the person put on my page, I now decided to go and search government website to see what's actually happening. And lo and behold, when I came back to work after maternity, I became a grade 8 social worker. So grade 8 social worker would classify as something like a senior social worker. So grade 7, according to the band of my workplace, I think grade 7 should be between 35,000 and 37,000 per annum, something like that. And grade 8 will be 37 point something to 42 or something like that within that band. I'm just giving you the scenario here. So from 37, I think 37,000 something, just slightly above 37,000 something, you now pay 40%. And that was what happened to me. When I said they took my money without notice, that was actually what happened. That person was right. So they're not paying me back. It's tax. They don't understand how they can't really understand that's plunging people more into poverty. The people who are in grade 7, they will be taxed at 20%. And me that I'm a grade 8, I'm just sitting at the borderline of where that threshold starts. It triggers me for 40%. So at the end of the month, I think they would even earn more money than me. Please tell me how that makes sense. How does that make sense? What motivates somebody now to go to work? What motivates you now to get up and pick up your laptop or pick up your bag and say you are going to work? Because at the end of the day, in as much as we have the passion for looking after people and caring for people, we need something to motivate us as well. I've got children I'm going to feed. So what is the point of being a gradate? That's why you have nurses now demoting themselves, because the work that they are doing is not proportionate to the pay that they are making. People are going to work, they are having extreme levels of anxiety. They have to protect their pins like with their whole lives. You need to see how anxious these nurses are. Sometimes we get really anxious in our own jobs too, because we all have pins that we are protecting. You know, that's our license to practice that we need to protect. My friend was just telling me now the way she always cries in the workplace. All the time she's in tears. How can you be going to work and you are constantly crying? Everybody is fed up. Everybody's fed up. Even sometimes you see people who are children of the soil so that are actually fed up. And you know, when you are talking about, oh, I'm jackpading to Africa, I'm going to Africa, you can see some people actually envying you. When they see that, oh, you have a place that you can go back to, and you tell them, oh, this is what I'm going to do there. I'm going to do farming. To you, that thing looks disgusting. You might look at farming and say, oh, farming is rubbish. You can say, how can I go to Nigeria, leave my professional job here and go and do farming? Whereas children of the soil here, people who are born British, who are British people here, they will actually admire you and wish that they had a place to go to and go and do that farming. You know, some people would prefer to give up their jobs to go and do farming, to go and start up a small business, if they had the opportunity. So it's not like I'm not ranting for we as immigrants alone. I'm ranting for everybody, because that tax, for example, doesn't affect immigrants alone. It affects all of us. What do? We just have to thank God at least that we have that job in the first place. See, that 200 pounds they take now is eating into my savings. So that indirectly is affecting jackpada. Sometimes you feel like you can plan, but you can't really plan because you don't know which angle that they are going to come out at you. For example, you look at the latest immigration news that came out now. They want to squeeze the numbers. They want to bring the numbers down. People who are from Nigeria too are going to be affected. So my little advice to those who are thinking to jackpot, which we have been saying over and over again, is don't sell your things. Do not sell your things. Those who are looking to jackpot, think it now and think again. Make sure that you've secured your visa before you start selling things. Maybe that thing that you want to sell is the money you want to use to rent a house. Make sure that you have secured your visa. Don't go and sell, because I noticed that there's a lot of distress sale now on the market. A lot of distress sale. When you ask what happened to the owner of the property, they will say the person is looking to relocate to Japa. Most of the distress sale in Nigeria right now are people who are looking to leave Nigeria. Most of the distress sale. So don't, before you put your property on the market, I'm not saying don't sell, because people will still do what they want to do. So I'm not saying don't sell your property. I'm just saying secure your visas first before you now sell, so that you can then use that money to maybe towards your tickets or towards renting a property. But the initial money that you need to apply for your documentation, source that one by yourself without selling any vital thing that you have. Because right now they are bringing down the numbers. They were talking about earlier this year when I mentioned that in one of my videos. So indefinitely now will take 10 years. Can you imagine? 10 years route before you can then get your settlement. So now 10 years now before you can get your settlement. So they're making it harder. They are squeezing down immigration numbers. And I think it's what now people taking a step back and reflecting. Things are not rosy here anymore. Imagine them bringing the threshold down. How much is 37,500? If you look at, you know, that the bills that you pay, people won't even have the opportunity to save. It means that if you've been saving £500 before, now you can only save. I mean, imagine if I was able to save £500 before monthly. Now I won't be able to save more than 300 or 200 because of all these changes. And you don't know, the changes continues now. They can introduce anything at any time. So I just encourage myself with Jackwada, and I try to keep my spirits up. So thank you so much for listening to my rants. Follow us on this journey, guys. Like, share, subscribe, getting closer. Keep following us on this journey. Continue to encourage us. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe.